I wanted to talk about this, bro. R.I.P. XDefiant. This is coming like a couple weeks after they said they weren't going to. It was like a month after they said they wasn't gonna end XDefiant. And now this is ending, bro. Look, XDefiant fans, I'm unfortunately here today to announce that XDefiant will be shutting down. Starting today, December 3rd, 2024, new downloads and player registrations will no longer be available. We will still release our Season 3 content in the near future, exact date to be decided, and the servers will remain active till June 3rd, 2025. What? So what, you can't download the game no more? For those who purchased the Ultimate Founders Pack, you'll receive a full refund. Players who made any purchases within the last 30 days will also be refunded. Those refunds should happen automatically within 8 weeks of today. What the f is the point of keeping... Hold on, wait. What's the point of keeping the game open if new people can't download it? Because it's already kind of hard to find games. It will be like, it's just unplayable then. Like, it will just... Realistically, you just can matchmake into eternity. Yo, I'm not gonna lie. XDefiant was actually like a solid game. It was just competing in a mature market where it didn't do enough to wow fans. Like, if you're competing in a market where something is already really loved, you have to be a lot better than it, realistically. And it wasn't a lot better than Call of Duty. Feel me? It had its pros and cons, the same way Call of Duty has its pros and cons. But the game was good. It just didn't stand out in a really meaningful way in a market that's already super saturated. And I'll be honest, going a little downhill. Arena first-person shooters were a peak in like maybe 2014, 2015. And like now, if you look around, there's not that many of them being made no more. Feel me? If you really look around, the type of game that's being made is what, chat? The Valorant style. Even that ad we did last week with Trinova gave lots of hints of Valorant. Feel me? Like, I think the success of Valorant as a game kind of redirected a lot of the attention on shooters to something that's not a casual Call of Duty style gameplay experience. We don't hear of Battlefield no more. I don't even know where Battlefield is on the map. I don't know if they still come out with games over there. I genuinely have no idea. I genuinely have no idea. But this is sad though. You know why? You know why this makes me sad? Because I'm a little worried that this is gonna be it. Games have gotten so risky. If you really look, this is probably PlayStation's biggest fumble, honestly. At Concord, the game, in terms of, it had a lot of very interesting, cool ideas. They came in with some lore and story, and then they kind of had like an Overwatch style game here, but it just didn't stick for a variety of different reasons. And they spent a ton of money on it and it fumbled. So now XDefiant is going under. I'm not gonna lie, man. I think that we're gonna start to see a lot less experimentation from video game developers. And I think the games we will see will be a lot like, somebody just mentioned it in the chat, more Marvel Rivals. I think they'll be a lot like Marvel Rivals. Because Marvel Rivals, I think they're launching, I think I seen Shroud playing it yesterday. So they're coming out with stuff, but like, they're borrowing an IP here. So like, they're licensed, I think it's a Chinese dev if I'm not mistaken. And they're borrowing the Marvel IP where we already have lots of interesting characters that we love just based off movies, comic books, like different pieces of media. And so they have that. This is a pointless launch trailer. Let's see some Shroud gameplay maybe. And this is kind of just like a Overwatch style game, right? Realistically. But like, I actually really enjoyed it when I played. I think the meta was dog water. In the little 4 or 5 days I played. They're Indian devs? I forget. It was somewhere in Asia, bro. But I think this is what we're going to see a lot of, bro. I don't think we're going to see devs take the risk on new ideas and new games. I think we're going to see devs take risks in very safe ways. This game is a safe risk. You know how ass this game has to be for niggas to not want to play as some of their favorite fucking superheroes? It would have to be a really bad game, bro. Realistically, even if this game is good, I think it will be very successful. But if this game is great, I think it's going to be mega. I think it's going to be mega. Just off the strength of the characters that we get a chance to use. And I think that gives them a lot of opportunities for like DLC and shit like that in the Marvel universe. But going back to the point of XDefiant, bro. R.I.P. to XDefiant, man. That was a good effort, bro. I know people give Ubisoft a lot of shit for XDefiant, but I think it was a good effort. It just didn't work. It wasn't enough. And I'll be honest, COD came out. That didn't help. Feel me? It didn't help. I think Ubisoft is in the middle of trying to decide which games they want to put effort into and which games they don't. And like, if you remember, chat, Rainbow Six Siege launch was atrocious. It was very bad, bro. Like, the game kind of had an interesting premise. I remember when they dropped it in E3, I was watching Ubisoft press conference at E3, and it looked very interesting. Come on. But they just like fumbled the launch entirely. But with effort, after a few years, they were able to revive the game. And now, honestly, it's one of the most relevant games in like the tactical shooter space. So like, I think they're trying to take a step in the direction of like, how much money and time are they going to invest in something before it's just completely not worth it, you know? Because they did it with Rainbow Six and it worked. We've seen it with games like No Man's Sky and it's worked. Feel me? And so like, I low-key wish they might have tried more, but I understand it. I'm not gonna lie. The industry is kind of like, there's hella layoffs. It's getting real rough in the gaming space right now. And yeah, I just hope this doesn't scare off developers from actually trying to do some fire shit, bro. Because I think it will inevitably end up doing that. It'll scare off investors too. Jinxie saved Rainbow Six. Even before Jinxie, there was a huge surge in Rainbow Six viewership. And then it went down. And then Jinxie like fucking catapulted it into the stratosphere. So you're right, Jinxie did do a lot. But Jinxie came a little bit later in terms of his relevance in the game. The game did have a crazy blow up randomly a few years after launch. Just off the strength of positive additions, good improvements, quality of life stuff. And we've been seeing that a lot. I think there's a lot of games doing that now. So anyway, RIP to XDefiant. I do think it was a good shot. I don't think the game was bad. I do think the game was fun. I just think it was kind of missing some sauce. And the tough part about that is it's hard to put your finger on it, bro.